I had to say, you know what? I apologized to him. I was totally wrong for that. Totally. And I just never, ever, ever did anything like that again.
Yeah.
I've never deceived Jason and used his
flaws,
his disability.
We talk about flaws. Use my flaws against me.
Yeah, used his knowing that he wasn't going to remember. I used that against him. I knew what I was doing. I purposely did that. So, I had to admit that was totally wrong, and I've never done that again.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's Sid Entertainer. I'm asking y'all to check out the Loveology podcast. This is...
Hello, and welcome to the Loveology podcast, where we talk about love and life with laughter. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Jason.
He's the carefree one.
She's the serious one. And we're married. We have been since 2012, and we like to think of ourselves as a couple of loveologists.
Not because we are the experts, but because we just love love.
We enjoy studying and talking about it, so we thought, let's just start a podcast.
A place where we can share what we have learned about love, relationships, and marriage.
You can share what you've learned, and we can all grow together.
So here we are. Are you ready?
Let's get started. Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank y'all for joining us for another episode of the Loveology podcast. Thank y'all for joining us, man. Babe, how you doing today?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing great, man. You're looking great, feeling great.
Thank you. Okay.
So I want you guys out there, man. We appreciate y'all for joining, but make sure you hit that subscribe button. Click that notification bell so you can get insights whenever we do a post or upload. You already know we're coming. But if you hit the like button, like it, that's great. Tell us why you like it. And if you hit that dislike button, that's cool too. Tell us why you dislike it, because we all can need some type of improvement. We want to hear from you guys. So thank you so much for checking in yet again. Yes, babe. How was your weekend?
You are super excited.
Yeah, man. I love talking to my people, my loveologists.
That's right.
Yeah.
My weekend was good. Very busy.
Very busy.
How was yours?
Mine was busy too. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Yeah. Getting ready for the football season. Shout out to all the guys. Football.
Make sure y'all check out a previous episode called NFL versus your relationship. Can't remember which number that was right now, but yes, football season is upon us.
Yes.
COVID couldn't even stop football season. So
that's crazy. And it's an earlier episode, but that was before we started doing video. Mm-hmm. So it may be on YouTube, but it's all audio. But if it's not, just go to our website, loveologypodcast.com.
Yep.
But also you can go on Spotify. We're on Amazon Music now. You can go on there. You can go on iHeartRadio. All types of places to listen to our old audio, all audio shows. But it's still great information.
Yeah,
man.
don't call it old. Previous.
Previously on X-Men.
Because old sounds like, I don't know, like it's outdated or something. Oh, no. All this is still relevant.
It's definitely still relevant.
For sure.
All right, baby girl. What we about to jump into today?
Well, speaking of improvements, like you just mentioned about how we could improve, let us know if you feel like there's things that we can improve on. It kind of goes into what we're talking about today.
Oh, yeah.
We are talking about flaws, personality flaws, and this idea of whether or not someone should accept you for your flaws and all.
Right.
And is that cool to ask someone to do that? Right?
Okay.
So,
all right. So you ain't talking about the flaws when my eye twitch a little bit. You ain't talking about that.
Is that a flaw?
I don't know.
It's quirk or
look. Okay. So you ain't talking about that.
No.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about behaviors.
I just had to make sure.
Yeah.
When everybody on the same track. So let's dive right. I'm about to dive in.
Okay.
Come on, man. Y'all, come on, man. Can I get in the comment section, scale of 1 to 10, what y'all, how close was I to Trey Songz on that one?
-5. -5. Okay. So again, on this podcast, we definitely talk about, we research, we talk about our personal experiences, but then we also find information from relationship experts. So there's this awesome relationship expert that I found on Instagram. I love his stuff. His name is Stefan Laboussiere.
So dope. Now it's like French or something,
I know,
right?
right? He probably from New Orleans or something.
Maybe.
He looked like he from New Orleans, but I don't know.
How y'all say it out in New Orleans? Nolans, right?
Yeah.
Nolans. Yeah.
AKA Stephen Speaks. So that is his.
I know y'all heard of him.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people have. He has like 1 million followers on YouTube. So it would be great if we can get him on the show somehow.
Come on, man. Go ahead. Come on the show. Let's talk, dog.
Yes, but he just gives a lot of great relationship advice in my opinion. So about a month ago, well, I started following him a while back on Instagram, and about a month ago, he posted a video talking about this topic, and I just thought it was really important. And so I thought that we would base an entire episode on this.
Let's get it.
Okay.
Let's get it on. Ding, ding, ding.
So, of course, we all want to be appreciated and loved for who we are. Right. But what happens when we get into this mindset that like you're just so happy with yourself that you can't really see that there could be some flaws. Everybody has flaws. Right. So, this is kind of what we're talking about. And he started his video off, and we will link his video in the bottom of this video description.
Awesome.
So people can see him and be able to learn from him more.
Correct.
Okay. So basically, he started his video off, in which I think we should too, by saying, hey, this is coming from a place of love.
Right. Yeah.
Like if this trigger
Come on,
you,
this is Loveology, man. That's what this is all about, man. We're not experts again. We're not experts, but so this is off of just straight love. This is stuff that we're learning and we want to share with you guys. Everybody's learning, and no, you can never get enough of love.
Right.
I don't care if you've been on this earth for 80 years, you've been in a relationship for 80 years. There's always more room to grow because nobody's perfect, right?
Exactly.
Let's go.
So coming from a place of love, we just want to help. Same way that he says. Okay.
Right.
So basically, he has this phrase where he says to know your worth, and then increase your value. Okay.
I like that.
Basically, to know your worth and understand right now, you might not be at your full potential.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about that. Okay. I'm going to read like a quote from his video.
Okay.
He says, there is always room for growth. There's always room for improvement, like what Jason just said. And the minute you start thinking that you're all that with nothing that you need to improve about yourself, you shot yourself in the foot. You created a very unhealthy dynamic where you are going to stop growing in life, where you're going to stop progressing because you think so highly of yourself that you're now blind to your flaws, or you're aware of your flaws, but you want people to accept them anyway. We've all heard the mantra, love me, flaws and all. But some of your flaws are what's ruining your relationships.
Ooh.
Some of your flaws are the exact thing that repels the kind of people you want to attract into your life. Some of those flaws are keeping you miserable, unhappy, and unhealthy. So, we just can't have this mentality of take my flaws and all.
Right.
End quote.
Right. I can rock with that. I can rock with that. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? I was in the shower this morning, and it was a great shower. It was warm, and all that good stuff. But something came to me. I had this. We was talking about flaws this today, and I just want to kind of throw this out there because sometimes, like you just said earlier, that you don't recognize your flaws,
right?
Or sometimes you do recognize, but you try to hide them a little bit. But then you'll look down on the next person, right? And I just kind of want to throw this quote out here. We are all broken in some form or fashion, right? It's called being human, right? Try not to look down on the next person just because their cracks are more visible than yours. So that's by Jason Harris. Loveology podcast.
Oh, that's your quote.
That's my quote.
Oh, look at you, Mr. Philosopher.
Yeah, you thought that was somebody else. Yeah, that was me. Shout out to me.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, thank you, man. But I got to give it up to the divine spirit. You know what I'm saying? So that he blessed me with that word to give to y'all today.
Well, the shower I get all sorts of just drops of knowledge dropped into my head.
We like plants. You got to have that sunlight and that water.
That's right. For sure. So I do think that this is becoming I don't know if this has always been a problem, but it kind of seems like this idea of accept me, flaws and all is becoming kind of like a problem in our society because you know, just like you're amazing just the way you are, like
right.
You know, maybe
I mean, you are, right? No, you are. It's just you have to know that we're still human.
Yeah.
So therefore, there's still room for growth.
Yeah, but
and let's, like you said, understand your value initially. Say, yeah, this is where I'm at. Appreciate me, love me where I'm at, and let's grow, right? And you can grow together, or you can do some growing on your own.
Well, see, that's great.
Before you jump into a relationship.
That's how everybody should be, right? But I feel like what I'm talking about is people who, what he said in this latter part was people know their flaws, but they want people to accept them. So yes, I do want you to accept me for my with my flaws, right?
Right.
But I mean, but what about growing, right? Some people just don't feel like they need to grow. Like, well, that's just who I am. That's just who I am. Deal with it.
Right.
Well, what if you are, you know, like what if you're a very difficult personality, you know?
Yeah, I think that's that part of it. Well, that's just who I am. You need to accept it. I think you can accept something initially, right? Like I can purchase a car, right? And that car may need some work. The car may have an oil leak. The car may have a bad tire. I can accept that car and purchase that and have that a part of my family and to drive my family around, all that good stuff. But what's wrong with upgrading some of those items on that vehicle?
Yeah.
To make it more reliable, more enjoyable, and just have a long lasting relationship with that car.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you're pretty close to what Mr. Stefan says, and we're going to get to that. He gave an analogy that was very similar to what you just said.
Hey, man. It's called divine knowledge, man. Shout out to Stefan.
So I think that is definitely where my problem comes in, is when people start to think that, oh, you know, you just gotta deal with this. Like, what if your flaw is that you lie a lot, right? That's not a flaw that I'm willing to deal with, and I'm not going to deal with that, right?
Yeah, I agree. So and some people, that's for you, right? But some of us out here can deal with people who lie a little bit better than others. You know what I mean? And that's a flaw that they can work with them with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just all about who you are and who they are and how that gels together,
right,
on improving both of you guys.
Yeah
Absolutely.
So going back to your analogy, that is very close to Mr. Stefan.
And by the way, I don't when my wife does these, you know, she researches on these topics, she reads these books and stuff, sometimes I don't get a chance to participate and read most of the time 98% of the time.
I hope you guys like understand the feel of the show, because it's basically me reading it and me telling Jason and you all at the same time. That's what's happening here. Jason is not. No, he doesn't even know what we're talking about half of the time.
Sometimes I don't. But it's all good. We all learning together. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about. I'm you and you me. You know what I'm saying? And so we just learning this thing together.
Yeah.
That's what make this show so unique.
But it's so interesting. I think you're getting to this point. It is interesting though when I'm talking about the stuff and Jason will bring up a point that was in the book or video, whatever I'm talking about. Like he read it. So he's just, I don't know. I guess he is
divine
Mr.
knowledge.
Love Doctor over here or something. Dr. Love.
Yeah, it's called the infinite knowledge.
Okay. Give me some of that.
I do.
Oh. Okay. So yes, back to this analogy. Stefan refers to it. He gave it as an analogy as house hunting. He compared it to house hunting. So I'm going to read another quote from his video.
Okay.
When you go house hunting and you find this wonderful, amazing house and you start to realize, or you see that the house at its true value is worth $500,000.
Okay.
However, the house has broken doors, the kitchen needs repairing, the yard needs work. So as in its current condition, it can only sell for $300,000.
Correct.
This is how people are operating. You're a house that at your full potential is worth 400,000, but because you've overlooked your flaws, you don't realize that your current value is only going to sell for 300. So I failed to mention that actually that this episode is a single special.
Okay, single special.
Hey, singles, I haven't talked to y'all in a while.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where it sounds like it's speaking to singles, right?
Yeah.
But of course, people that's in a relationship, this definitely applies to you.
For sure.
I'm almost afraid to like label it single special, but I want to.
Right.
But yeah, it definitely applies to everybody, right? But for sure for singles, like, you know, like if you're, I mean, he used the word presenting, you know, if you're not presenting yourself as a $500,000 house, then, you know, you're going to get people in the 300,000 range, right?
Yeah. He's talking about your ARV, or your after repair value.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he's talking about. So some things, you know, like I said, we all broken and it's all love. You know what I'm saying? Because in some form or fashion, but you got to recognize your full potential after your repair is done, right? And really, to be honest, like I said, we striving for excellence. We striving for perfection. We're never going to get there, right? So you're just going to keep upgrading. And some people say, well, why keep upgrading if you never get to perfection? Because every level unlocks great benefits, baby.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah,
you just keep going up.
Okay, so he says that you have to know your worth, and if you want people to embrace it, you have to fully tap into your potential, which means working on ourselves, and that means working on our issues. We cannot become so caught up in wanting to feel better about ourselves that we ignore what we need to correct within ourselves. We should not lose track of the fact that there is work that needs to be done. So, end quote. So I think that, you know,
just got to say end quote.
Yes. So they know when I'm talking to it. Anyway. So, let's see. Oh, I just think that this is difficult for everybody. You know, I think people get better with accepting constructive criticism only if you have the mindset that you already know that you're not perfect and that there is going to be room for growth, and it's okay. You don't have to let it affect your self-esteem.
Right.
You can just say, you know what? You're right. I was wrong. I need to grow in this area, and I'm going to grow. Right. You can totally fix it. Right. You can totally fix it. It's like, and he says in his video also that there's nothing wrong with understanding that something may be wrong with you. Right. 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 Like actually,
because most likely it is.
Yeah.
Most likely something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Something wrong with me. Something wrong with you too on YouTube. It's just what it is. It's like I said, it's called being human.
Yeah.
Right.
But you can fix it. But you can't fix it if you don't know.
You can't fix it if you don't want to acknowledge that you got an issue.
Yes, or if you're in denial. Yeah. So it's like, it's okay. You were wrong. There's something wrong with you. Okay. Like people are always saying, oh, it's nothing wrong with you. Well, maybe sometimes it is. Yeah. You know? Yeah. And it's okay. Right. We can just fix it. It's fixable.
And the thing is that something wrong or that issue may have not been an issue a month ago. Yeah. It may have not been an issue a year ago. But as we progress through this journey called life, we pick up new habits, we pick up new issues along the way. So something that you may be dealing with or struggling with right now, this may be new, right? And you can't see that, right? That's why Michael Jackson said he's starting with the man in the mirror first. Okay. Right? Yes. That's what I'm saying. Like you gotta start with you. And it's hard to see you if you're not looking at you. I'm looking through me, right? But I can see you. So therefore I can see your flaws more clearly than others, right? But more clearly than yourself. Right. Right. So if I'm out of love telling you, hey babe, I see this, I'm seeing this thing that you're doing, you got to kind of be open to that. That's why you got to be careful of the type of people that surround you, right? Because you don't want a lot of yes men and yes women around you. Yeah. Because they're not going to tell you what's what. Yeah. Get you some real people around you so they'll let you know, dog, you kind of tripping on this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's very important. It's very important.
Because they the ones going to see you.
And they see it, but people just like you said, yes man or yes women, and
they ain't gonna say nothing to you.
To say something,
or they gonna talk about you behind your back about your flaws that you don't even know about.
Right.
That's terrible.
That it is. So yeah, Stefan went on in his video to say that, you know, again, like what we're talking about, you know, hey, we're not doing you any favors. He actually said this, like, Jason, you just, I mean, Mr. Love Doctor over here.
Think she's getting a little hot and bothered. Like she's a little excited over here. Like, damn.
I don't know about all that. Yeah, he's like, you know, people becoming defensive and saying, you know, how dare you say this and say something's wrong with you. Now, of course, if you're the person that's giving a constructive criticism, you know, let's say it in a loving way and figure out the best way to say it to the person, right? But definitely, I see myself as a friend that will definitely tell you what I think is a problem. Yeah, he was just reiterating that, you know, you are awesome.
Right.
Once you tap into your full potential. Right. You know, you gotta do that.
Exactly.
And he did reiterate too that, again, you don't have to be perfect. Right. But, and I'll quote him again, but if you're not even working towards better, then how can you expect to receive better in your life if you're not even trying to reach your full potential? And how can you demand and expect someone else come to the table with their full potential if you live below your value, then expect to only receive people living below theirs?
Yeah, that's real right there.
And he doesn't want you to settle, like he said that in the video. Definitely got to check the video out. I'm leaving some stuff out, of course, right. But check it out. I thought it was a very great talk. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I wanted to leave everyone with a few behaviors that, according to Psychology Today, which is a website on online, it's a pretty well-known website, that can ruin a relationship.
They can run a relationship or ruin a relationship?
Ruin. Okay,
Sorry. I didn't know.
That can ruin a relationship. Okay.
Talk to me.
Seven things. Okay. So these are things that have been shown, right? So again, like some flaws, people, it just has like, it just seems to ruin relationships.
Yeah.
Okay. One is having angry reactions to feedback instead of being open to it. Jason already said this. I mean, he just on a roll today.
I always be on the road, but you got to acknowledge the road that I'm going on.
Yeah, you already said this. Okay. So, you know, being defensive when your partner tries to give you their complaints. You know, and we learned in a previous episode, like there's a difference between complaints and criticism. Complaints is, you know, identifying the problem and complaining about that. When you start to criticize a person, you like, you know, start calling them names and just saying mean stuff and attacking their character. But I kind of,
what about constructive criticism?
That's that's what I was going to, because I'm like, well, you know, some things is in your personality, right? And like we need to talk about that, but it's a way that you can do it. If you need to talk to somebody about a character trait or something, you just need to really approach that with love and with care, and really think about how you want to talk to them about that, right? And it may not be like you do this, because maybe they're not even intentionally trying to hurt you or make you angry. Go back to those I feelings, you know, when this happens, this makes me feel this way, you know, and we talked about that in an episode about communication. We have like 3 episodes on communication. Check all of them out. Okay. Cause communication
is the key. Right. It's the key to our relationships, communication and trust.
Yeah.
So I talk about that all the time. Right.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna beat a dead horse, but I don't think the horse did yet.
Okay, number 2 was being close to new experiences instead of open to new things. Think you said that too?
I say it all, baby.
Whatever. The next one, using deception and duplicity instead of honesty and integrity.
Deception is always, you know, you try not to use always and never.
Yes.
Right?
That's the thing we learned on this podcast.
It just seems like deception is one of those things that you always want to stay away from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know how it feels. I deceived Jason. And it was one of those moments where I had to forgive myself and just be like, don't do that again.
Yeah.
And I've never done it again. Do you want to tell the story again, Jason?
You know what? I'm just going to leave it at the Dubai deception. That's what I dubbed it. The Dubai deception.
I still want to tell it again.
Tell it because it's not that serious.
It's not that serious, but for me.
It's the fact that it was the deception.
Yes.
That's what it was. So go for it.
So our first year of marriage, I was deployed. I was in the Navy. For anyone who has not been following us, I was in the Navy. Jason was in the Air Force, but I was in the Navy and he was already out, right? And I was deployed. This is our first year of marriage. In the beginning, before I went on deployment, I told Jason what port stops we would have because when you're deployed, you have to pull in every now and again. We did stay. The longest that we stayed out to sea was like 3 horrible months without
3 months
without seeing land,
That's crazy.
So anyway,
unimaginable.
But you know what? This is a random thought.
Yeah.
But you have not seen stars until you have seen stars in the middle of the ocean with no lights in pitch black ocean, like just water around. You have not seen the stars until you've seen that. So
kind of like off of Moana.
Yeah.
When she was looking for finding her way. If I haven't watched Moana, go check that out.
You can tell we have a little kid.
Man, I don't care. Little kid or not, that's a good movie.
So anyway, I was deployed. I told Jason before I deployed what those port visits would be. Sometimes they would change up depending on what we had going on. But, he said that he wanted to come to Dubai.
And I'm a traveler. You know what I'm saying? Been to over 20-something, like 28 different countries. So I want to add another country to my list. So little backstory about me. I am very frugal. I do not like to spend a lot of money. For y'all don't have time to look it up. She cheap. Go ahead.
I'm not cheap. I just am conservative with my money.
Okay.
How about that?
Yeah, I'll take that.
So, I think I had already been deployed for 7 months and we were about to come home the next month. So the 7th month is when we were pulling into Dubai, right?
But we already agreed that we was gonna,
But we didn't really agree. He said he wanted to do it, and I told him that I didn't want him to do it because I'm thinking about money, and the only thing that I'm thinking of is he wants to see me. And I'm like, why would you spend money? I'm about to come back home. Like, I'll be home before you know it. We already waited all this time. Why would you spend all this money to come to Dubai when I'll be back? Right?
Because I want to take that cool picture in front of that sailboat.
But I didn't know that.
You that sailboat, what's that, a hotel or something that you took a picture from?
Yeah.
It's going to be on the screen. Without me. I got to Photoshop myself in it.
And then I felt bad because when we hit Dubai, a lot of people brought their spouses out.
Oh,
there.
yeah. I bet
not a lot, but a few.
Yeah.
A few. There was people who brought their spouses out. And because we were going to be there for longer than other port visits. It was the longest port visit that we had. Yeah. Right. So I was like, basically Jason got a bad memory. So I was like, he's not going to remember the dates and he's not going to put it in his calendar. You know what I mean?
All of that was true.
So I knew his personality well enough to know that if I did not mention it, that he was going to forget all about it. So when we got to Dubai, I called and I was like, hey, I'm in Dubai. And he was like, what? Where?
I remember I was driving down Colonel Glenn. For all y'all that's in Little Rock, Arkansas, I'm driving down Colonel Glenn, right past Elevations, right?
Aww.
And she said, I'm in Dubai. I'm like, hold up, what? I pulled over to that parking lot that's close to that Kroger. And I said, man, I had to get out the car and start walking around the car.
Oh, I'm sorry, honey.
Hurt my little heart.
Oh.
Just left me. Just left me.
I'm sorry. Yeah. But anyways, he's forgiven me. I still get sad about it because I'm not a deceptive person.
Yeah.
And
Decepticon.
And it really hurt me that I was actually capable of doing something like that. Mm-hmm. I was first year of marriage. I think that's what it was. And like, I didn't really understand it. No, you tricked him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got me.
Yeah. So, but I didn't know, like, had I known that he really wanted to come to Dubai and he just wanted to have that experience, I just wasn't thinking. I just wasn't thinking about that. I'm just thinking about money. I was just straight up money. Like, why are you gonna spend all that money? Like, don't spend that money. But I really regret it. I wish that I wouldn't have done that. But I told Jason that I'm gonna take him to Dubai.
Yes,
I'm gonna figure out a way. I'm gonna get enough money, do something. We're gonna plan a trip to Dubai, and we're gonna have a great time together.
I want y'all to come with us too, man. When we get ready to go to Dubai, man, hopefully we can put some money together and we all can have a old Loveology trip to Dubai together.
Yeah. So I had to say, you know what? I apologized to him. I was totally wrong for that, totally, and I just never, ever, ever did anything like that again.
Yeah,
I've never deceived Jason and used his
flaws,
his disability.
We talk about flaws. He used my flaws against me.
Yeah, used his knowing that he wasn't going to remember. I used that against him. I knew what I was doing. I purposely did that. So, I had to admit that was totally wrong, and I've never done that again. I love you, honey.
I love you too.
So anyways, number 4, overstepping boundaries instead of showing respect for them. This is another behavior that can ruin a relationship. Respect.
Gotta respect. I should bring the book down. It's right up there. It's called Love and Respect. Right? So you definitely, women and men both, we are all human. We need people to respect us. Right? That's just, I don't know. It's just like a part of the introductory of, communication and just relationship in general. Respect has to be there, because if you don't respect the person, then I don't know. It's kind of like you don't honor them. You don't see them on your same level. You know what I mean? So how can you have a relationship if you feel like someone is beneath you?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So. But the Bible talks about men love your wife and women respect your husband. And the love and respect book, they talk about that on a deeper level. Women they naturally love, right? But the Bible tells them to make sure that you respect your husband, because sometimes that's what women struggle with a little bit sometimes, right? Is respect. And for men, we naturally respect. We see a guy, we dap him up. What's up, dog? Respect. If he's out with his lady, we speak to him first, just showing respect. You know what I'm saying? So we naturally automatically do that. But I guess in showing love, we need to make sure we do that we have that more in our conscious forefront to show love, right? So I think that's why the Bible tells men, hey, make sure you love your wife. Yeah. So
I think we'll do that book next episode.
What?
Love and Respect. Because we talk about a lot, and we just haven't talked about that book.
Yeah.
But that's
a book I actually did read most of it.
Yes. I don't even know if you finished it. I don't know if we finished it. But first year of marriage, I asked a deacon at my church for some advice, and he gave me that book he gave me the title of that book as something that we needed to read. And I'm so happy that I asked that question, because it definitely helped us start our marriage off on a good foot.
Yeah, that was kind of like our marriage
counseling. We didn't have marriage counseling.
We didn't have marriage counseling, and we should have. Right?
Yes, we would advise people to have it.
Yes, definitely have marriage counseling, because it can be more tailored towards you as an individual, right?
Well, you don't know what you don't know, right? So
right.
if a marriage counselor already kind of knows some of the peaks and the valleys that may come in a marriage, may or may not come. So another episode that's upcoming will just be talking about like how I know myself for sure, how we learned, how important it is to prepare for marriage and to prepare for a relationship. We should learn how to be in a relationship. For sure. We should learn how to communicate in a relationship.
Yeah, we need classes on that.
We do. Why not?
Like financial literacy, right?
Yeah.
But also relationships, man.
Intro personal skills. Is that what it's called?
Man, how to be married, or how to be in a relationship.
A good communicator,
Yeah, just specifically for relationships, man. Those are things, because the family unit is a strong unit. If you cut the head off, that can help make the family crumble.
Yeah.
So it's important to get that knowledge instilled in you. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And for the children that are in a part of good marriages, healthy marriages, they tend to have a healthy marriage themselves because they have that example. They're in that class, right? Yeah. Every day of their lives. You know what I'm saying? And some of us, I didn't, my mom, she was a single mother. Then I stayed with my grandma for a second, for a minute. There was no two-person, dynamic. I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know. I thought I knew what it is to be a good wife, a husband, because I knew what it was to be a good boyfriend. But boyfriends and husbands are two totally different things, y'all. Mm-hmm. Two totally different things. So if you're a good boyfriend, that doesn't necessarily mean you'll be a good husband. Mm-hmm. So you got to learn how to be a good husband, a good wife, opposed to a boyfriend or a girlfriend.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So number 5. Why do you like to say that?
I don't know. Switch it up a little bit.
Okay. Showing a lack of affection and inadequate impersonal or routine sexuality instead of physical affection and personal sexuality.
Man, hold up. Say all that again. Showing what?
Showing a lack of affection and inadequate impersonal or routine sexuality instead of physical affection and personal sexuality.
Break that down.
I think we're going to break this down in another episode.
Okay. Well, stay tuned.
Let's just keep it with the lack of affection right now.
Okay.
I want to do a whole episode about like not having sex in marriages. Some people are really struggling with that, right? Mm-hmm. So there's this book that I've been reading, and it's called Sex Starved Marriage. So we want to talk about that.
Sex is like a connection. You know how you plug that USB up in that slot right there? Boy, it's a connection. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a lot of powerful things happen when you do this. So I think sex is needed.
So we just finished recently talking about a book called His Needs, Her Needs, and we talk about sex being, one of men's most important emotional needs. So,
for sure.
Of course, Jason is really excited about that.
Oh yeah. I saw the sun, the moon, the mountains, and the rivers. I saw heaven.
So I have been a good friend to Jason, and I have told him that he can't sing.
But I don't care. It ain't for y'all. It ain't for you. It's for me.
So I just want y'all to know that I have told him this, but
it
like
is
you said,
what
he doesn't care.
No, I don't talk about me. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of us, we need to do. We need to do more things that feel good with you. Does that make you feel good? It makes me feel good when I sing, regardless of what it sounds to y'all. Y'all need to get y'all ears fixed anyway.
It's our problem. Okay, you're right. Misunderstanding instead of understanding. This is number 6.
Number 6. Misunderstanding instead of understanding.
Yeah. Not taking the time to like really fully understand your partner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
just going with the misunderstanding. And then, hey, for the person who doesn't want to tell their partner what's in their head, hey, that's important too, right? Yeah. Everybody's okay with just this being a big misunderstanding. Mm-mm. We want to make right. We need to make sure that we both understand each other. There is an episode called The Communication Method that could help your relationship. Mm-hmm. I think that's awesome. That's an awesome episode. Definitely helped me and Jason for sure.
Right.
So check that out. But it is about like listening to understand and just really knowing that your partner understands you.
Right.
Right.
Because we don't have these big screen TVs on top of our head letting everybody know what's going on in our minds. Mm-hmm. Right. So you have to let people know what's going on. If you don't, then they can only go off of your words and your body language, which sometimes can be misunderstood. Right.
So the last one, number 7, being manipulative.
That's
dominant.
The same thing. Okay, I'm about to say the same thing with deceptive.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Dominant or submissive.
So manipulative, dominant, or submissive. Mm-hmm. So basically, those are like the edges, the extremes, and you don't need to be those extremes. Pull it back a little bit.
Right. Absolutely. So I'll quote something from that article. It says, in an equal relationship, it's important to directly ask for what you want and need from your partner, so that we have the opportunity to respond to and meet our needs. Many of us make the mistake of expecting our partner to read our minds and know what we want, which only leads to disappointment. It's important to say what we want without trying to dominate or control the situation. We usually feel vulnerable when we're open about who we are, what we want, and how we really feel. But this directness is the best way to maintain an honest and authentic way of relating that gets us what we want in life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
And then the submissive, I think that's mostly pertaining to the dominant part. But then the submissive part is just like, no, your partner is not always right. And it's just important to, sometimes they need to say no. Like you need to say no to them.
Right.
You know, sometimes it's good for them to know that the world does not revolve around them.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And a lot of times I am right. You know what I'm saying? But, but it's okay that if your partner says, like, even if you feel strongly about it, it's okay to, check your work. You know what I'm saying? Just because you feel like you breeze through it. How many of us did a math a test and we just breezed through that thing like it was, oh yeah, we got this simple pimple control, right? That was on a commercial a long time ago.
Simple pimple control.
Yeah, that was a commercial a long time ago. But it's just simple, y'all. Piece of cake, right? Mm-hmm. But you know what? You actually made a mistake. So it's okay to go back and check your work no matter how simple you think that task is or how not necessarily complex that the logic is. Mm-hmm. It's okay. If your partner says, you know what, I don't know about this, go back and check your work and let's talk about it.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right. So yeah, that was the 7, they call them 7 behaviors that ruin relationships. But I think that if you have some of these behaviors, flaws, definitely I can see how all of these could ruin a relationship. And if you see yourself in some of this, maybe this is something that you can work on.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what, man, we having this discussion between me and my wife and you, but we want to hear from you guys, right? And we do live discussions. When we doing, baby?
Wednesday.
We do them every Wednesday. That's when we do our live discussions. We on Facebook Live, so come check us out. It's 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, a little bit later on the East Coast. But we want to hear from you guys because we doing all this talking for just us two. We want to hear from you guys, and that's when we get an opportunity to do that. And so if you got questions, maybe you got some flaws that you want to tell us about that maybe we can talk it through. Who knows? Let's talk about it.
Or what flaws do you not deal with in a person?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And, if you got questions that you want to send to us beforehand, maybe you're not going to make the live discussion and you got questions, go ahead and shoot us an email at loveologypodcast@gmail.com. And I will try to get some of those answered. Actually, the ones I pick will show up on the screen, so you'll be able to see your question answered later on, right? Because it'll still be recorded and I'll still post it after the live, right?
Yeah.
And I want y'all to make sure y'all go out and do some shopping, right? So we want to give a shout out to a lot of customers before I jump into the shopping. I want to give a shout out to some of our top countries out here, man, because we appreciate it. All of you guys. We definitely appreciate it. Let me get a little shout out to you guys, man. So obviously the United States, that's where we live. Obviously, we're from the United States. But, man, I want to give a shout-out to Canada. Y'all always been a good friend to us, our northern neighbor. But want to give a shout-out to India, man. India, y'all just tearing it up, just tearing up the scene, right? Just coming out of nowhere, right? Yeah. Shout-out to the UK. Y'all doing the big things, doing some nice downloads. We've been on the top charts in the UK, so we definitely appreciate all of that.
Yep, yes, absolutely. Yes. We love it. Thank you for listening.
Love it. But yeah, go to Loveology Podcast if you like some of the gear that I'm wearing and that we have going on. Definitely go to loveologypodcast.com and come shop with us, man. We have some cool gear. I dropped my fanny pack, but got your fanny pack just in case you want to be light, you know what I'm saying, out there jogging or something. Get your Loveology Podcast fanny pack And I know a lot of us, we gotta be, you know, gotta get the social distancing going, and you gotta have your little. Here's a little, I don't know how you pronounce it, neck gadia. You know,
I have no idea either.
You know what I'm saying? Put your little face mask on. We also have some face masks as well with no logos, just plain black. You could throw them on, and you can practice social distancing with your mask while you're out and about and all that good stuff. And you support Loveology podcast at the same time, and
Absolutely.
we really appreciate that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anything else you got for our people?
That's it. That's all.
That's it. That's all, man. Well, guess what? We're not going to hold y'all up. We appreciate y'all. And I do have one more thing, and I got the little button to show it. Make sure y'all go to patreon.com or Loveology Podcast and sign up to be a Patreon, man. We appreciate every dollar, and it's actually $2 to be a Patreon with us. And what that does is that helps support the channel, and it allows us to help other people along the way. And this, like I said, it's just $2. We have several tiers. If you're a business owner, check out that top tier where we'll give you a shout out on the Loveology Podcast once a month. So go check us out, loveologypodcast.com. Find that Patreon button, click that button, and pick a tier and join us.
Click it.
All right. Let's say click it a ticket.
Yeah.
All right, y'all, man. Thank y'all so much, man. We appreciate y'all. We're going to catch y'all next time. Until again, peace out.
Bye.